Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. I am back after 2 weeks of absence because this week we have a tank, and that is what makes me show up.
But I guess you're a
Uh,
bit disappointed. It's not a dude.
I've never really cared about that.
Really? Ah.
I mean, like, I care about them having good skills. It's just that a lot of the
Oh,
female
so
tanks we've
female
gotten.
tanks don't have good skills. Oh, okay. What's next?
Well,
Female lawyers are less important than male lawyers? 2021, Muspo. All right, I'm just kidding. I'm just
it's
kidding.
just that a lot of the female tanks have been kind of lacking. Like, obviously, FaZe is great, but aside from
Yeah.
that, there's like Melia is not that great.
I mean, Afma was
Uh,
good.
Aphmau's great, yeah. Uh,
Like,
the problem with Aphmau was that she like came out and there were already a few other tanks that were basically as good.
yeah, yeah.
So
And her damage roll wasn't really hitting
yeah,
as hard as you would have wanted for that to kind of be a
Beatrix was
thing.
good though.
Beatrix is really good. Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's only Melia that's kind of
Well, it
not
depends on how
great.
far back you go. Like back in the day, we had Cecil just shitting all over everyone.
Ah, but we also had Charlotte, right? Charlotte, everyone's favorite.
Charlotte was never close to Cecil.
I mean, she was like the best magic tank. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, but she came out way ahead of Cecil.
Yeah,
But sure,
but
sure. I mean, yeah,
like
when Cecil came out, he
Paladin
shattered
Cecil
everyone.
was just monstrous.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. And then they made FaZe, which is basically
Yeah,
Paladin Cecil, but more.
but we should probably dive in because we have like 14 units to talk about.
Yeah, this is not the Paladin Cecil podcast, true. So yeah, let's just talk about the units, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So the first unit is Maeve.
And I guess
Uh,
the only unit on the banner, right?
yeah. Maeve is sort of like if Snow and I don't know FaZe had a baby.
I'm gonna say more Snow and Bahimi, but okay.
That's fair. So in terms of durability, she is about as tanky as Snow, based on some math I did. The builder's updated now, so I should actually recheck that, but I'm assuming I wasn't too far off.
But when you're saying Snow, you're saying Snow
Snow
with
with his
100 uptime.
mitigations up.
Okay, so Snow with full uptime with his LB.
Uh, it's not his LB, it's the skill that costs LB gauge, but
Ah, yeah, yeah,
yes.
sorry, yeah, yeah, but the one that needs LB. That's the one I
Yeah.
meant. The one that gives
Yeah,
him
but
90%
she
mitigation.
does it from turn one, whereas Snow can't unless you're like entrusting him or something.
Right, right. Which is quite
Uh,
powerful. I mean, that's a very
yeah,
powerful thing.
yeah. So that means that she's gonna be somewhere between 50% and 100% tankier than most any other tank you can bring,
Yep.
which is obviously a lot. And unlike Snow, Snow has pretty much that and basically nothing else to his name. Uh, Maeve though actually has other utility. She can give AoE ailment immunity, AoE break, stop and charm immunity. Uh, she has both cover types like Snow, and when she applies one, it dispels the others, although that's not relevant because they would overwrite anyways. I
But it was a
honestly don't
pretty
know.
cool detail, honestly.
I don't know why they bothered to do this. It literally doesn't change anything because
But I
they
mean,
overwrite.
right, it does. Right? Because there's this wiki page that kind of tells you about the priorities of covers and how
That's
they
if you
would be
have
applied.
multiple units with covers.
Ah, okay, so that's not
But
one
yeah,
unit with
but
multiple covers.
if you have one unit that has multiple covers, whenever you cast a new AoE cover, it overwrites the other one or the
Okay.
other type.
Well, given this is Gumi, I'm just gonna boldly fucking guess they had no idea that's how it works, and they just put that dispel
Possibly,
in,
yeah.
thinking it's a smart thing. Nah,
She
but it's
also
good.
has a hammer in peril, which is pretty much completely irrelevant. I don't think there's any good damage dealing hammers in the game.
Yeah, like I guess the hammer. Wait, does that even have good stats? The one that we are getting from this item world?
I don't know.
Actually, I don't think it has that high attack, so no, no. But yeah, nobody uses
75
hammers.
attack. Yeah, no. It is the only two-handed hammer in the game, though,
There we go.
which is surprising. But yeah.
And that is surprising. Why don't we have more hammer users, actually? That would be fun. Well, I mean, she technically is, I guess.
Uh, yeah, it's Maeve and Lid, and that's basically it. That use hammers. I'm sure there's somebody else, but those are the only ones I can think of. And then on top of that, Maeve has stat buffs. She has an AoE Earth Imbue, Imperil, and 30% amp. Uh, that has full uptime. It's a cooldown, but as long as you're not getting the spell that has full uptime. Uh, and what else? Am I missing anything?
But she has
morale
a
gauge fail.
yeah,
Oh
and she
yeah,
has some morale-based utility too. Like depending on your
yeah,
morale gauge in the fight, she has a bit of utility. That's
oh yeah.
actually pretty good.
And her base form LB gives 5 stacks of AoE Mirage, and then she has gigantic fucking barriers, just monstrous shit.
Yeah.
Uh, it scales off the morale gauge, like Barrow said. She has a cooldown that is 9,000 barrier to start with, and with morale can scale up to 19,000, which is, I think, prior to this, the previous record for an AoE barrier was
10k,
8,000.
right? No,
10,
oh,
who,
okay,
who had
8,000.
10k? Bahimi?
No, I just remember someone having 10k, but I could be completely wrong. I could
I
be
think
completely wrong.
Aiden had like a single target 10k barrier.
Yes.
I'm not sure
I
if there was
think
an
that's
AoE one.
yeah, maybe not, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I mean 19k
Maybe
is
Kresnik had
ridiculous,
one though.
right?
Does Kresnik have barriers?
Yes, but not like he has like a free barrier on his heal skill, but it's not it's not 19k. It's not 8 either. I think it's like 2.5 or
He
5 or
he
something.
has 5k on his shift
Yeah,
LB.
on the shift
Okay,
LB.
yeah.
Okay, but
So,
his
anyways, this
heal.
this is
Okay, never mind.
this at 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 worst this is 90% bigger than the next biggest barrier in the game.
Yeah, yeah. So it's huge.
And
I mean, obviously
yeah,
it's huge, and especially as you get like bosses get more dangerous as morale goes down. So it's kind of you're getting the barrier when you also need it the most.
but Barrows, what if 19k isn't big enough? What can I do then?
Yeah, what can you do then? I don't know. Like tanks are not my thing. Hey, don't ask
Oh,
me about
you
this
you,
kit.
you use her LB, which is 15k with 0 morale, and then scaling up to 25k.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good. Wait, but
Yeah.
that's her shift LB though, right?
Yes, her shift LB.
Yeah. Which is her magic. Like important to say, like that's her magic tank role, meaning that. So the thing about Maeve is kind of if you want to use that, you can. But then you just have to make sure to gear her for defense in both, and that's a bit harder because a lot of her stuff like static spirit, like she's getting static spirit in her shift. So if you're tanking physical damage, you don't really want to shift because you're not going to be as tanky, or you're going to be a lot less tanky. I think she's
That's true, although the 25k barrier would make up for it on that one turn. Like
maybe.
you will absolutely have less defense,
Yeah, I mean
but
like a lot less because
it's
like
not going to
imagine.
cripple you.
I mean you're using like you're losing like 250% equipment. Actually, wait,
You
no,
lose
you're not
100%.
actually.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
you
that's
lose
actually
100%.
true. She actually has 250 defense and spirit. Okay, so you can technically gear her pretty well. You're just losing some of the flat stats. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's not as
if
bad as I thought.
let me put it this way, she would be tankier for the one turn in shift form with the 25k barrier than she would be in base form without the barrier.
Yeah, probably. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
because you're almost well, I mean 25k is almost doubling her health.
Well,
So,
not doubling, like 50% extra maybe.
yeah, she's
Maybe a
maybe
little
pretty
more.
chunky. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, very beefy tank. She also has some abilities that unlock depending on where the morale gauge is at. When the morale gauge is below 80%, she gets one that uh, it cures breaks and ailments from allies and puts them on her, and then it also cures debuffs from her.
Yeah.
Notably, it does not cure ailments. So if allies have ailments, she will get those ailments and not cure them. So be
Yeah.
careful with that.
But removing all debuffs, would that also mean imperils?
Yes. So if you're
Which
below
is like
80%
really
morale,
fucking strong.
yeah, if you're below 80% morale, she can cure imperils from off herself on demand,
Yeah.
which is very good. But unfortunately,
Very.
usually in Clash of Wills, you're higher than that. So when the morale gauge is below 50%, she gets a skill that lets her absorb earth damage for 3 turns and gives her 90% mitigation and protects all allies from any damage with 90% cover mitigation.
Which is really fucking strong.
Yeah. So I could maybe see applications for this one actually. Like, yes, you have to go below 50% morale, but 3 turns of just not taking damage basically, that's a really big deal.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
that could let you set up some stuff. You would definitely want Kresnik just to like try to slam the morale gauge in the opposite direction, and and a bunch of other stuff to fill the morale gauge as well. And
right.
honestly, even getting it down there on the right turn might be hard. But I could see this coming up sometimes.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the last skill that she gets is at high morale, above 120%. And what does this one do? It's an AoE Beast and Dragon Killer buff and Beast and Dragon Mitigation buff.
So you're kind of
So this
seeing,
is one of those things that's specifically designed for this Clash of Wills,
yeah,
and I'm sure it'll come up again once in a while, but it'll probably only be half of that instead of both buffs applying.
yeah. And you can kind of see the theme of her kit, right? So as like when you're in the shit, like you have morale below 80 or 50, she becomes tankier and better for your party, right? Whereas if you're doing well and you're you're killing the boss, you're racking up that morale, she becomes a bit offensive, and she can now give you killer buffs to your party, which I think is a pretty cool way of designing it.
Yeah. Uh, so overall, very strong tank. I think there's a case to be made that she's the best tank in the game.
I
Like
mean, why
in
wouldn't she
terms
be?
of in
Who would
terms
be
of
better?
magic, well, she's missing the resist buffs, the elemental resist buffs for the party.
Right,
So in that context, if you only need magic tanking or you only need physical tanking, Phasey or Bohemia are about as good.
right.
Um, assuming that your tank is not at risk of dying. Like if the tank is getting hit really hard, Maeve is clearly better because she's so much tankier. But she can do both jobs. So if you're gonna pull for a tank, this, which you should generally be doing anyways, but this is certainly the best tank to pull on probably in the history of the game, just because
Yeah.
she fills both roles and she does it great. Another thing I want to mention is that one thing we've seen with a lot of recent tanks is that they have innate draw chance, and then they have a skill that's attached to some mitigation skill that they have to use that gives them 100% active provoke. And this means
Right.
that basically they are forced to provoke all the time, and you cannot use them with a different passive provoker. Maeve doesn't have that problem exactly. Well, she doesn't have it at all, really. She does have 100% provoke attached to her mitigation skill, but she does not have any passive provoke. And for those that don't know this, provoke, if units are tied, uses slot order as a tiebreaker. So if she has no
Hold on,
passive
hold on.
provoke,
I actually think you're wrong here because I think that active provoke takes precedence if you have equal amounts of provoke, though. I might be wrong. Let's double check this. But
that
I'm
that unless that changed recently, that is not true.
okay because I seem to remember that. I seem to remember very specifically that if this was the case, you actually had to give any type of active provoke to your passive provoker
There,
just to get a bit up.
there's one thing, which is that passive provoke is capped at 100%. Active provoke lets you go beyond that.
Yeah. No. But that's not what I'm thinking of. There was like I need to. You know what? I'm gonna do my homework and I'm gonna write it in the comments when the episode is out because I do want to double. I want to double check this, but I remember there was something about that. Like there was something about active provoke. Man, where is Dream when you need him? Okay, Dream would know this. Like, oh, actually, you know what? I should trust you because you're also the tank guy.
Dream is being attacked by a feral New Zealand parrot.
Yeah. Oh my God, this was a great story that Muscle
Yes,
shared just before the podcast.
yeah, before the podcast, we learned that New Zealand apparently has parrots that attack and kill sheep.
Speaking of FFB, but yes, like, can you imagine parrots killing sheep? Like, oh my God. Okay, like, just wait until they learn how to kill humans. Okay, that's gonna be some. Oof.
Yeah. So anyway, with the provoke thing with Maeve,
Right. Right.
you could gear her for 100% passive provoke if you want her to provoke and tank, and you need it to be passive. You can just leave her with the active provoke if that's fine, like if you're not getting dispelled. Or you can gear another unit for passive provoke and put them in a slot before her. And as long as they're in a slot before her, stuff will target her instead of them. Stuff will target them instead of her because they're in a slot before her and they're tied. So it gives you options, which is nice because some recent tanks have not had that option.
Yeah. I just double checked also the wiki about the draw tax, and I was just dreaming. There is nothing here that says that active provoke would take precedence at all on the same level. So never mind. Um, but you know what I want to mention about Maeve, and also cry a bit because rest in peace, Hazard. But this
You
is a
want to
Hazard
mention
unit.
her TM and STMR and Vision card?
No. I want to say this is a Hazard unit because Maeve, you gear her once and you can put her
Oh
on any
yeah.
team because she can do physical tanking, she can do magical tanking. You don't have to change the gear. You just set a favorite gear on her, and you can literally use her for anything. except for maybe like the most difficult content in the game. But otherwise, you're just gonna be fine. So
Yeah,
yeah, this is a hazard unit.
yeah. But TM SCMR Vision Card, her TM is, I think, the best tank armor in the game, generally speaking.
I mean,
It has slightly less defense and spirit than Wilhelm's STMR, but it has more HP and it has some resists, so potentially
yeah,
better in a lot of cases.
yeah. It's kind of if you're a dual tank, this is really good to wear. But since like Brave Shift is a thing, you can have better items for defense specifically and for um, spirit specifically, right? So,
Yeah,
right, is that what you're saying? Because like this is still beat by Gabranth's STMR, for instance.
yeah, I guess for magic tanks it might just be generally the best. Because is there any like what heavy armor is there with higher spirit?
Wilhelm,
Like there's Wilhelm's, but that has less HP,
right? So
and
it's just
then
kind of
there's
what you need more. Yeah.
yeah,
No, no, no. It's good. Although I feel that many times magic tanks just wear fucking rainbow robe or something due
that's
to
true.
resistances. But yeah,
Although this having some resist is nice,
that
so
is
that
that
could
is really
make
nice
it
actually.
competitive. But yeah, very good. Like this is the fact that as a TM it is competitive with tank STMR body armor is crazy.
It is. It is absolutely insane. Which in a good way. Like this is
Yeah,
like here's the thing. So I would be sitting here. I would be telling people, "Oh my god, you need to pull for this unit because this is the strongest tank we have seen in ages." Right? Which is true, and we're gonna get into cow soon. So we're seeing content that actually does require tanks slowly,
thank
but
God.
but it's still kind of the role is still in a weird state. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah. Like it's still largely useless in Dark Visions. Um, or rather, like if you're bringing a tank, it's not because you need a tank. It's because you want their offensive support, and the tanking is just like kind of a side benefit.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like bringing Sellies or something,
Yeah,
and it's very disappointing that that's true. But Clash of Wills is a lot better in that respect.
yeah. Well, so yeah, Maeve definitely like for Clash of Wills, we're seeing a trend here. We're seeing the tanks matter. That you're actually using tanks in this content, which makes me super happy as a player, right? But like, oh my god, I have some gripes with this Clash of Wills though. So we're gonna get into that later. Should we talk about the STMR?
Yeah, STMR is a very good weapon for tanks that can equip it. It's a hammer that has 180 defense and spirit, and then 50% true single wield for defense and spirit.
Right,
So
which is really really good.
yeah, there's a lot of tanks that can't equip hammers. I'm trying to think like who are the current
Duran
tanks.
can, okay, that's really important. Because he's one of the best tanks in the game right now. I want to say that was a joke because I feel I need to say it was a joke because we didn't do a Duran episodes. We're not, so it's not that he's a bad tank. It's just that he's definitely not the best tank in the game. Um, but yeah, okay. So listen, I wanna move on. I feel like we have so much to talk about. But
Yeah,
we need to say something about this vision card,
it's nothing special really.
bringing home the bacon. So I can't even click it. I don't even like. I don't know.
It
I don't know what
it
it does.
has defense and spirit, and then it has some HP, and it has 40% defense and spirit at level 1 and 4, or 4 and 7, and then 20% more defense and spirit at level 10, 20% HP, and some resists. But it doesn't have any flat HP on it, which means that for tanks it's generally really bad.
Yes, but also it's super difficult to find a dual tanking vision card because the vision card is the only thing you can't equip separately in your
That's
forms.
true.
So, like, if
But
you're
I think
actually
if
on
you're
a,
dual tanking, you still want an HP card that has one of the stats.
yeah, maybe, yeah, depends. I mean, it's situational. It's situational. What you need more.
Also, doesn't
Um,
Snow's card have both?
oh
I'm trying to
wait,
remember what.
actually, Snows maybe has.
Yeah,
Uh,
Snow's has 1,000 HP, 60 defense, 60 spirit,
oh, okay. Well, then Snows is probably better.
and then also 50%. Well, I guess this is only for male units, but 50% defense and spirit if you're wielding an axe or fist.
Mm.
Which, granted, there's not many tanks that can do that, but
Hey, hey, Duran can wield fists. Okay, okay. All right, but so this is a really good unit. Like you're not going to be sorry if you pull for her and just like, if you're just trying to predict, of course, obviously no predictions are accurate, but we do see the tanks are important in cow. Especially this cow, but many other cows too. Or previously. So this wouldn't be a bad unit to go in for strategically. Like if you have Lapis lying around, we don't know. Like nothing better is coming when it comes to tanks. Like there's nothing in JP as far as I know that's gonna beat this.
Yeah. There's even an argument to be made that this is one of the best units that's come out all year.
Yeah, says the tank lover. Okay, calm the fuck down. No, but I know what you're saying. I would say like there are other units that would definitely vie for that spot, like Ling, like Kresnik. There are some must-have units that are not leaving your team. So I wouldn't go that far, but she is really good.
Yeah. So that's Maeve.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about the next unit, who is Noppy.
Can we?
We got
Okay,
some updates.
hold on. Before we go into this, can we just appreciate that we are actually getting unit upgrades? All right, can we just do that for a
Yeah.
little?
Yeah, it's nice.
That's such a nice thing, and it's extra nice that the unit upgrades are actually really good.
Yeah, Noppy kind of got screwed. Like she was pretty underwhelming when she came out. She wasn't useless, but she
Kind
was
of like
clearly,
Olivera, right?
clearly lacking compared to kind of like who?
Kind of like Olivera, like when they came out. It's the same thing. Like they doing good
Similar, yeah.
damage, but not top. And yeah,
Olivera at least had like some weird utility, which was neat. Um,
yeah.
so you can tell that they were thinking of something here. Noppy was just undertuned.
Yeah, I guess. Well, at release, she kind of had the Duran problem where she's really good at sustained damage. Too bad sustained damage doesn't fucking matter in this game. So,
Yeah.
but she did
So
get huge upgrades actually.
yeah, assuming Dream's calculations are right, and we'll assume that they are because he's not here for us to make fun of him. Noppy now bursts for around 4.4 trillion, which puts him in the same ballpark as
Her,
sorry, her as who else is around there?
Duran.
Sky, Kurosame, Cleome, a little higher than Cyan.
Yeah, and this is not morale damage. So now we're just talking regular ass damage. Um,
Yeah.
Good to point out. Because one
Um,
of the big upgrades, which I want to go into, because Noppy is one of my favorite units in this game, is that she actually also got morale scaling damage. So she didn't just get a lot stronger, she did, just general, but she also got morale scaling abilities. And now she's actually a very decent morale chainer in Clash of Wills, which I think is a great upgrade for her. She's kind
yeah.
of, if I remember correctly, her mods drop her slightly below Igni, but she also has variance. And once Greatsword variance gets fixed in a update that should be heading to us soon, I mean, she probably already beats Igni in morale damage. I'm just gonna guess. I mean, I don't see any calcs, but looking at the fact that she has like 5% lower mods or something, and has uh, variance should make up for it alone.
One sec,
And
I'm doing some quick math to try to figure out
okay.
the
While
clash
Muspel is
verse.
doing some quick math, I'm gonna explain what else Noppy got. So she also got a AOE Earth Imbue and Amp, which is super nice. You can bring her on Earth teams. It's only 30%, which is what you're usually seeing on units that are not specific elemental buffers, like Roka, like Sakura, like Celeste, and so on. Um, and we already mentioned she got a whole lot more power, of course. Some of her abilities did get changed to do different things and or more powerful things. Um, I wonder if her Grandis is one of those abilities. I'm a bit unsure if her Grandis
Uh,
got changed actually, but I do
so
think it did. Sorry, go ahead.
purely looking at comparing the modifiers of her with max morale and outside of Clash of Wills, her damage in Clash of Wills would be about 10.8 trillion
Which
at
is,
max morale, which is about 50% higher than Sephiroth.
yeah, but I mean, compare it to a morale unit.
Uh, I'm not sure if we have the other morale units calced on this sheet, so I
Okay.
don't know that we can
Yeah,
get an apples to
because I
apples
was
comparison here.
I mean, I was just doing something super simple. I was just looking at mods, and she's around Igni. So I was thinking like, hey, she's triple casting. Is Igni triple or quad casting?
Neither. Quint casting.
Oh, okay. Well, if Igni's quint casting 3,000 mods, then she's far below him, though. But maybe I just miscalculated. Maybe. Okay, never mind. You know what? Hey, Dream is not here. This is obviously a huge weakness for us, as I can tell. We need to look this up. We need to come back with actual numbers.
One sec. Let me do some quick Igni math. Entertain the listeners, Barros.
I will entertain. So in
Oh
New
God,
Zealand,
what have
there
I
are
done?
these parrots that actually kill sheep. Shit, we already talked about this. No, no, no. But what I just wanna go back to saying, I really hope this is a trend that Gumi continues with, buffing older units. And I mean, Noppy isn't even that old. Like she's a fairly recent unit, and she got really good buffs. Just she just needs the upgrade for her sword variants and or great sword variants, and she's gonna be in a really good place. Right now, she already can equip fists, so you can already gear her for fist variants, which is really good. And
Okay,
she,
so
sorry, I just want to say she also got a great sword in peril, which is really nice. Okay,
yes.
now go.
So this is again very rough napkin math. If you see a spreadsheet that has like more detailed calculations, go with that. But I'm guessing that Noppy is going to be somewhere around 10 to 15% higher than Igni.
And now you're taking variance into account, right?
I'm just literally comparing the modifiers and then multiplying that by what they have on the sheet.
Oh,
So
okay. So
like
with variance,
if
she's
their
going to be much
modifiers
stronger.
are 3 times higher in Clash, then I triple their damage on the sheet.
Yeah, no, but I mean, then okay, but that's good
Yeah,
because the sheet does take variance
this
into
is
it.
without external fields or weapon imperils or whatever. So if you have like a rod imperil for Igni, that changes things.
Well, she has her own strong greatsword in peril now, so I mean,
Yeah.
not
Well,
really.
no. Noppy has her own imperil. Igni does not have one in these calculations. So like if
Oh,
you,
okay. So Noppy's
yes,
already counting with her own imperil while Igni
yes,
doesn't. Oh,
yes.
now I'm getting what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just looking at the wiki sheet. So if you give these units external support, that changes things.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Yeah, kind of like yeah, absolutely. I still think then if they're that close, then definitely Noppy wins out if you're doing a fist build with the great variance because that's so huge.
Didn't they change variants with this update?
No, they didn't. People were suspecting that, and there was an extended maintenance, but as I understand, no, it did not change.
But the new hammer has the new variant, doesn't it?
I don't know. Like, hey, if they did,
On the
that would be
wiki,
great.
it says 115 to 180%,
Okay,
which
were great
is
swords always 100 to 160?
yes.
Okay, so then no change because her STMR is still 100 to 160.
Are you looking in game or on the wiki?
I was actually looking on the wiki, but I can also look in game. Just let me double check because
Yeah,
this would be actually
could be
good
the
news.
wiki is not updated.
Yeah. No, but I am fairly sure this was actually not changed, but I will double check just to make sure. I will double check. So Kupo sword, where is it here? Its in-game variance is 1 to 1.6. Yeah. So it's
Okay,
not
so no
changed.
update yet.
Yeah. No, it's just the hammer probably has the correct variance, and the other weapons are getting upgraded later, I guess.
Yeah. But that's
No,
basically
but
all there is
Noppy
to say about Noppy. I don't think anything else really changed meaningfully.
no, I mean, and just to the whole variance thing, Noppy actually can equip fists without any big drawbacks. She's actually quite easy to gear with fist TDH instead of greatsword. So there's that. She doesn't really lose that much. She does lose some stats, but we're gonna talk more about why you'd be gearing her for fists when we get into the Clash of Wills.
Yeah. The other unit that got upgraded is Cactuaria. Um, she got some morale scaling too. I have not looked at the damage. It doesn't look that impressive to me, I guess. I guess the
Yeah,
modifiers are relatively high, but
they are pretty good. They are pretty good. She's triple casting though,
yeah.
but they're decent. Um, I think that and every little bit helps. But let's talk about why she's actually good, right? Because first of all, she got higher breaks. Her
Yes,
breaks now go up to 89%.
yes, she previously already had a 90% attack magic break on her Magnus ability, but
Right,
she also had these single use breaks that were 87%. Now they're 89%, and they break
right.
one stat. So she can now break spirit and defense a little better than she could before.
Yeah. Which is pretty huge because now you get a unit that can both break spirit and defense by quite high amounts. It's not the highest in the game, right? It's 1% lower than the highest in the game. And obviously, if you have no passive stats, that 1% can matter a lot. But many times she can actually weigh up for that with her kit. So a lot of
Yeah,
people, for instance, in this clash, are bringing Cactuaria
yeah.
as the support.
With her kit and her personal damage, plus all the other units that break defense or spirit by 90% do not break the other by as much or at all.
Right.
So having both in one slot is a big deal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And she has the really big imperils, right? She has 135 for water and for earth.
Yeah.
I feel that, you know what would make Cactuaria a fucking amazing unit? If she also had amps for water and earth. I mean, she obviously has personal amps for water and earth, but she doesn't have party amps, which is such a shame. Like, even if she only had 30%, that would be so amazing. That would be so much utility in a single unit. It'd be crazy. But unfortunately, we're not quite there, which is a
Yeah.
shame.
One sec, I'm doing damage
Oh, you're
calcs for
you're
Cactuaria
doing
now.
damage calcs for Cactuaria. Oh my god! Now I need to make up things sound funny. Okay, no, but
It's okay, I'm done. About 8.3 trillion.
okay, so she's quite a bit lower than Noppy.
About 10% lower than Igni, so actually surprisingly high.
But didn't you say Noppy was at 10 trillion?
Noppy is at 10, Igni was at like 9 something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Noppy was a bit higher when you calculated, yeah. But that
So,
was
yeah, with the breaks, this is almost certainly going to be worth it in a lot of Clash of Wills until we see power creep.
yeah, and she can wear fists, and she has a really strong fist imperil. So Cactuaria literally also just became like Tifa's best friend, because if you have
Well,
Tifa.
Tifa already has a Fist Imperil.
Not yes, but Cactuaria has a higher fist imperil and a higher water imperil for Tifa. Okay, so she's really good in a Tifa team. She's going to be able to break defense for Tifa. She's going to be able to increase that imperil to 135, and she's going to be able to increase that fist imperil from 25. I want to say Tifa has, right?
Yeah.
To 30 is I think Cactuaria's. Yes, 30, which is really, really nice. And I mean, in general, just a fist imperil is really good to have on a non-Tifa unit because, again, putting fists on people and letting them slam really hard into things is a thing that you want to do. So she's overall a fantastic support.
Yeah.
Like,
Alright.
if we need to compare them, I do feel Cactuaria might be a more versatile unit than Noppy. Like, you're definitely gonna see Cactuaria more on your teams than you will see Noppy.
Yeah, so
Um,
we're about half an hour into recording, and we have not covered half the units that we need to talk about. To
Wait,
be
are
fair, the
there
rest
more
are going to be real
units?
quick. Oh,
Oh
oh, you
yeah, Rain. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, I forgot.
no,
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
talking about Rain.
but we have Rain, we have Fina. What else? Oh, the
Uh,
Awakenings. Oh
yes,
yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I get what you're going for. Okay.
I
So
actually forgot about Rain. Rain got crown upgrades. They kind of suck.
yeah, he does get a really like I don't want to say they suck because if you just give him a single crown, he's gonna be the strongest AoE fire amp in the game. And if you give him two crowns, he's well, this is so unnecessary to say, but he's gonna be even stronger. So yeah. He's actually not that bad. Turns out to be a decent unit. So for all Rain fans, it's great news. His damage
Yeah,
goes up, his support
well,
goes up.
let me clarify. Instead of saying if you give him 2 crowns, if you give him every single crown that has come out thus far in GL.
True.
Which
But
is
but
the
what I want to
problem.
say, but this might be the best investment because like who else are you going to give it to? Locke? Yeah, you could give it to Locke to get those 90% breaks, but that requires 4 crowns. There's literally no other unit, and we don't have the highest AOE fire amp we have is 30. That's like VV level. Um,
Yeah, but like,
Getting
there's
to
nothing right
50
now that's
50
weak to
is like
fire.
huge.
Like,
No, but fire is a super strong element in GL too. Like
yeah, but is it gonna be? Are we gonna get something where it's relevant before there's another good fire option?
you mean Clash of Wills? Or sorry, not Clash of Wills. Sorry,
Clash
I
of
mean
Wills
DV.
or Dark Visions.
I
Like,
mean
is
DV
there gonna be
might.
something before we get something better, or
Yeah,
at
I
least
mean it's
competitive?
a good challenge. It's a good challenge. But kind of Rain turned into the Roka of fire, right? That's kind of what happened if you give him a crown. So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's just not worth such a rare resource when there's nothing to use it on yet.
Yeah, but who
Like,
the fuck are you gonna use the crowns on? We don't like.
well,
There's nothing to use them on. Either.
I'm saying they might add more crowns, and they're not adding sources of crowns. So
True, true.
hold on to it until it's at least going to get you something that you're
Yeah,
going
I
to
guess.
use.
I guess.
Blue Mage Fina also got her NVA, and it's
Yeah, since
basically irrelevant.
I was saying on the news day, she would have been great a while ago when we were getting the trials. She was actually designed to trivialize, but we
Yeah.
didn't. We're getting her super late. I do want to say though that her TMR and STMR are really good. So hey, they're free. go get them.
Yeah, they're certainly not bad. Uh, she does have like an AoE light imbue and fairy killer buff, so it also comes with a light amp. It's only 25%, but for newer players or people with a limited roster, maybe that'll be useful. But
Yep.
she is certainly not fantastic or anything.
Yep.
And then the other thing that happened this week is Gumi accidentally released a bunch of awakenings for old event units or limited collab units.
Right.
So let's see. There was Slime Knight, Uber Killing Machine. Who else? One second, I need to pull up the list because there's so many I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Waka, Popoi.
Oh yeah, Waka. I remember people showing screenshots of Waka in Discord.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Waka is technically not limited. He was the weird exception.
Yeah.
Popoi, Prim, and I think that was it.
Yeah. So why do you think this happened?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Waka was like planned anyways, so maybe he got batched in with his patch by mistake. As for the other units, I don't really know how it happened. Maybe they were just part of. Did these units get 7 stars in JP with this banner, Popoi and Prim?
I don't remember.
Or with
Too long
with the Trials of Mana banner? I don't know. Anyways, the units themselves are pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Slime technically can be awakened to NVA, except that you cannot get his fragments. Also, I guess we should mention, at time of recording, the awakenings have now been disabled. If you already have the units, you still get to keep them for now. Who knows what they're going to do, but you cannot awaken them anymore. So, sorry, everybody that just got their hopes up.
Yeah, sorry everybody that were hoping to bring Waka into something. Well, you still can, but just not. Just not awakened Waka.
Yeah. So their TMs and STMRs also got like the STMRs are all new. The TMs, some of them got upgraded and are generally not that great. Popoi's STMR is the most important item here, I think, because it's a robe with what kind of killer was it? Was it fairy killer?
I don't remember.
Or insect killer. 50% insect killer, 65 magic. So that's pretty good. It also gives 500 flat magic to Angela's Brave Shift.
Yeah, but now you're kind of just being mean because nobody has this item, right? Like potentially it's gonna come, but like nobody has it.
I have it.
Oh, so you were that fast because I wasn't. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I made sure to get it before I posted the thread about it on Reddit.
Genius. Good thing they're also not rolling it back because that could have also happened. Like they could have just said, fuck you all. We're taking all the items you got from this.
Oh, I'm just noticing they upgraded Popoi's TM to also have insect killer, physical and magical, and 50% magic. So that's actually good.
Nice.
I'm assuming that update happened in GL as well. I'm looking at the JP page. I would have to double check the item in game, but yeah.
But I mean, so this either is a mistake where they just copied too much data from JP and it accidentally came to GL, or this means that they are actually planning on awakening these. Although, like, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't really fucking care less. Like, this is just I don't care. I'm sorry.
The weird thing to me is that if you look at Popoi and Prim's STMRs, they have the names of a bunch of units because they're working on the Trials of Mana units, or not all of them, but all the ones that were in JP. And you can see that some of the names were localized and some of them weren't, even for unreleased units. So, like, Reese is not localized. The JP versions of Reese, because the one we got in GL is not the same unit.
Right, exactly.
So those ones just have, like, placeholder names, like, I forget what it is. It's
I mean, that's what makes me think this is just a mistake, copy-paste mistake.
But some of the names of unreleased units are localized. There is a unit named Hawk listed on Popoi's STMR, who is presumably the original JP version of Hawkeye.
Maybe, yeah. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything, Translators get a whole bunch of keys that they just translate.
That's true, yeah.
So I don't think, let's not read too much into this. I think it was a copy-paste error.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Hawkeye at this point. I'm just kind of curious, like, is this something where his name was translated a year or so ago when he was, I don't remember how long ago he came out in JP, but is this something that was translated a long time ago and it's just now showing up because we're seeing an item that references it, or I don't know.
I don't know, man. Let's just move the fuck on from this.
Yeah. So you want us to talk about Clash of Wills?
Yes, I do. So, big props to Gumi for really experimenting with the format, for really putting it out there and trying different types of battles. This one is very tank heavy, so very cool that we're getting to use these units. Fuck you, Gumi, for making a trial that's absolute. Oh my Jesus, I hate this trial so much. Okay.
Would you say that it's a beast of a trial?
Funny, yeah, it's draconically difficult.
Would you say that it's a triple threat?
Yes. Okay. So I love the fact. So just to break it down, just very quickly for everyone that's listening and planning on taking this on. So this is a trial that has a very tough turn one, where the boss is gonna clear breaks on itself and shit all over your team. And in order to not die, there are a couple of techniques you can use. One of them is to have a tank that's beefy enough to actually survive turn one. And this, it turns out, is incredibly difficult. So, Muspel, you just told us that Maeve is easily the bulkiest tank in the game, right?
Yes, especially versus Beast and Dragons, which this boss is.
Because she actually has 50 or 60%. I don't remember.
65.
65% racial mitigation against both races of the boss, right? That's actually huge. And here's the thing. Not even Maeve can, in most cases, survive turn one without Bulwark or Shadow Lord. Okay?
Maybe you should get good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, listen, that's huge. Okay? Of course, there are other ways of surviving turn one. You can use someone like Kresnik or any other of the units that can imbue the boss and make you immune to that damage. Really good. But the boss, even after then, hits really hard. And for most people, the boss also shifts to doing magical damage on turn 3 or turn 4 if you cross a threshold, the 49% HP lock on turn 3, to magic damage. And this magic damage is just so high, it's just like, fuck you, right? Like, you're just gonna die. Like, so don't, there are people, you can do clears that are longer than 4 turns, but it's just really bizarre. This is why I want to say a fuck you to Gumi, because a lot of the really strong units in the game are just not viable. And one of the things that made me a bit sad, and here, you know, like, you might just call me a fanboy, but so Duran came out last week, right? And Duran actually is a decent tank, is a decent physical tank. His stats actually get pretty high, and he's
like on par with C-Card.
Yeah. He also has 50% dragon mitigation, and Ling can give him 25% beast mitigation, which actually puts him in a really good spot for this trial. But they're like, you know, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough because the strongest tank actually needs external support to survive. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I understand making tanks important, making trials difficult for tanks, but blatantly making this trial so tailored to Maeve is just, no.
Is re-raise a viable option? I actually don't remember. Does Clash of Wills penalize you for deaths?
No. Re-raise is not an option because this boss hits you so fucking many times with AoEs. Like, maybe re-raise is an No. It's never going to be an option because your tank is never going to get re-raised with the proper mitigations. So no, like, no way. Because like, he hits 6 AoEs that are super strong on turn 1. There are some other really cool things you can do, like for instance, Esther is actually a good tank. So if you're struggling with this and you have Esther, go look up Senzar's video where you can use Esther to at least clear up to level 99. But honestly, this time around, level 99 is hard. Like, many people will either not have the energy, the gear, or just the skill, I guess, if you can call it that, to clear level 99. Unless they're looking at Zinzar videos, which I am guilty of. I could not clear level 99 until Zinzar gave me a clear, because I was really trying hard to make Duran work on this trial. I was trying so hard. I didn't want to put my snow in there. I wanted to try Duran, and I just got shit on repeatedly. And I just think it's overtuned. I think this cow is just way overtuned. I think that this is not fun. And many people, like, on the first day, where people were rerunning the boss because cover mitigation variance was a thing. So you could just die on turn 1, but you could survive other times if you got the higher mitigation roll. So it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yeah.
I could say a lot more about the boss, but I'm not gonna. Like there's a Discord for all of this information. We could talk about it forever, but resistances are also important. Lightning and earth more a lot or very important. Which is lightning, of course. That's why Esther becomes really good because she absorbs that. But yeah, so technically most of the easy clears kind of just go to turn 4. You go to 49% HP on turn 3, and then you kill it on turn 4. That's basically what you want to do to have an easy time. And then you're again, as the previous cow, you're not farming level 99. You're farming something lower for score.
Something that's interesting to me is that this boss does something we almost never see, which is use hybrid attacks.
Yeah. Well, didn't the previous cow boss also do that?
Maybe? Which one
Okay.
was the previous boss? Morturum?
Yeah, exactly. The tower.
I'm trying to remember the name of the event so I can look for it on the wiki.
Yeah, never mind. Not important. But yeah, he does use hybrid attacks.
Yeah. And the fun thing about hybrid attacks is that they're affected by both physical and magic mitigation.
Right.
And, like, fully affected, not averaging them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much all there is to talk about this week.
Yeah, I think there are some fun mechanics I can just mention. So, for instance, if you guard against this boss, I think he gets human killer. Or was it that he gets human mitigation? I don't remember. But the boss is actually cheating, so
Oh,
he's using a
yeah.
lot of skills for us players. So he's
Yeah.
getting both human killer and as well as human mitigation, which
I
doesn't
actually
affect.
kind of like that as an
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, I thought
Like,
it was great.
I think a lot of the times when they've taken stuff that normally only players get and they've given it to bosses, it has improved the game. Like when they started giving bosses passives, that made a lot of sense. And
Yeah,
then they stopped doing it, which made no sense.
yeah. Well, does this boss have passes? No.
I don't think so.
No, doesn't. So yeah, again, breaks are of course very important. Um, Carton is really strong for this cow as well, for many different reasons. He can also make your party immune to dark, which is fucking broken, kind of just like as broken as Kresnik is. I guess the final thing we should mention, though, is because Kresnik is really MVP for this fight, and many people are kind of regretting not pulling Kresnik. What you can do now is there is this great bundle in the shop for only 10k Lapis. All right, so if you have Lapis lying around, buy that fucking bundle because that bundle gives you a unit design contest unit of choice. And given how good Cactuaria, Kresnik, I mean even Noppy and others on
Isn't
this list
Bohemia
are,
in there too?
Bohemia is in there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
so
these are
it's a
all very strong units.
fantastic units. I mean, you can get one of the best, like some of the best units in the game for 10k Lapis. That's worth every day of the week. All right.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, but a word of warning: don't buy it if you don't have the shards, though, because people
Well,
have made that mistake. People have made that mistake, and if you
it
buy
it
one, you can
depends.
only buy
If you
one.
want them for this Clash of Wills, then don't do that. But the Fragment Dungeon is coming, and these units are probably going to have a good shelf life, or at least
True, true.
Kresnik probably will.
But I,
Probably not Noppy. Like, damage dealers get power crept faster.
yeah. No, but
Cactuaria, who
people
knows?
were disappointed kind of because, for instance, in order to use Kresnik really well in this event, you actually need his EX one. You need
Yeah.
his Brave Shift. So like I hope you bought the shards. If you didn't, then although what you're saying, Muspel, is really good. Like Kresnik is such a unique unit and really strong. Honestly, he's one of my favorites in the game. And so it's still a worth buy. 10k Lapis, and then just wait for the next. We might even get, for New Year's or something, we might even get ways of getting more shards. So who knows?
Yeah. Uh, all right.
I guess that's it, right? I mean, we've talked about a lot of things already. Have I complained about not pulling Maeve yet? Because you really shitted her, right? Like,
I got her in like 15k Lapis, which is not too
wow.
bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I spent 20k Lapis. I got 2 NVs, not a single Maeve. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know why, but off-banner NVs hurt my soul. I just don't know
Yeah.
why.
Hey, remember that time when we did a podcast at the start of the NV era and you said you thought it was going to be great?
Yeah, I do. And I was like, but that's me. I'm just naive. I just want to see the best in people, and people just keep shitting on me. Okay? And that's so sad because Envy could have been fantastic, but no, it actually turned out to be everyone else's fears and not my hopes, because people were afraid that, oh, like units are not going to be useful without the EX1. Oh, soon units are going to have to require more than EX1. You're going to be forced into EX2 and EX3. Oh, like the units are going to be power crept just as fast, if not faster, as rainbow units. And all of that was fucking true. It's like a nightmare right now where the power creep is insane, as well as this requirement for really high EX levels. I am honestly feeling some fatigue over that.
Yeah,
Like, that's why I like units like Kresnik, who are performing fantastically already at EX1.
yeah, yeah.
But not all do.
It's certainly frustrating.
Yep. But yeah,
But
instead of
yeah,
complaining, I guess we should end the episode, right? Because we've talked a lot, we've explained a lot of the stuff that came out.
yeah. This is probably one of the longer episodes in recent memory, right?
It's not that bad. It's about 50 minutes. Yeah, but sure. It's kind of what our old episodes used to be, but there was a lot of content.
Yeah.
There was a lot of content.
All right. We will see you all next week.
Yeah. Take care.